Hello and welcome back to another Cheltenham preview with the man, the racing blogger.
Great to be here.
Today we're going to be looking at the novice races, the novice hurdles, the novice chases, any handicappers that we like, and just anything else basically. So we're just free-for-all Cheltenham fun. First up on the Tuesday, of course, first race of the meeting, my favourite race of the meeting, in fact, actually, the Supreme Novice Hurdle.
Yeah.
Always won by a good horse, always
Indeed.
Exciting. Obviously, we've had Altior, Vortor, Duvan. We've been inundated with talent in the last couple of years. The race has no shape at the moment, though, for anything like that. Everyone's waiting for this Merlin superstar to come out.
We are.
But yeah, who are you looking at the moment?
I really have no clue, Jake. I think the race is symbolised by the fact Mellon, who is unraced, is the third favourite. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
We normally have a Willie Mullins superstar. This year, we don't seem to have a Willie Mullins superstar. I know you're major fancy in the race.
Yeah.
You like Moon Racer big time.
Yeah.
I'd have to agree with you at this stage. He's proven, he's been trained for the race, he's got great bumper form, he's got course form. In a race where you don't even know who's going to line up at this stage, it's really hard to have a firm opinion. At this stage, I just sit back and be happy that Moon Racer is a horse who's going to be peaked, got Cheltenham form, he jumps well. Outsiders for the Supreme, again, it's really hard to try and find them. I mean, Charlie Parks is more likely to go for the Triumph.
Yep.
Defi de Sol again is more likely to go for the Triumph. But will JP run all his Triumph horses against each other? He may send one for the Supreme, and at this stage we just don't know. But for me, it has to be obvious. It has to be Moon Racer.
Yeah. I obviously am a big fan of Moon Racer. You can get him at 11-2, which is actually decent value, I think. I think he's actually underrated as a horse. He won the champion bumper. He's unbeaten at Cheltenham. He won the champion bumper from completely unpromising position, completely blew the start.
Yeah.
Somehow got there in the end. He should have beaten Blow by Blow as well at Punchestown on his only run of his first run of last season.
Gave me nightmares.
He's taken to the front. He made his move way too early. Definitely the best horse in the race, and Blow by Blow is no slouch either. Obviously, we've seen, but he's beaten Death Duty as well. He's a fantastic horse. So, I think just Moon Race is rock solid at 11-2. Obviously, he won a muddling race here this season, which is with no pace or anything. But I just think he'll be more suited to a fast pace. Or will be more suited to a big field. I think he's rock solid at 11-2. If you want one at a bigger price, I wouldn't write off Jenkins yet, who was the talk horse over the summer from Nicky Henderson.
Very expensive failure on Boxing Day.
Ran really, really badly on Boxing Day, terribly in fact. So badly you think that cannot be his running.
Yeah.
That just cannot be his running. Really impressive the time before that at Newbury. Made a couple of jumping errors. He needs to get his jumping sorted. Obviously, he's not the most he's 25-1. That's the only reason. He's all right value, I'd say.
Yeah.
But the form of that Newbury run is all right, and he looked like an absolute tank in that race.
He did.
Huge engine. Showed nothing last time. But I mean, Nick Henderson has shown it before. He can get these horses back.
Absolutely.
So he's all right priced at 25-1, I think. That's but basically Moon Racers.
I've got Moon Racer and I backed Elgin each way at 25-1 for Alan King. An impressive winner in Jenkins' race at Kempton. He's due to run at Haydock, I think, in the Skybet Novice Hurdle.
Yeah.
He's been back from 7-2 into 2-1, 7-4. If he wins that, he's going to halve in price from 25-1. So if you can get on now, you could have a viable each-way bet come the day.
Interesting.
He's bred by Duke of Marmalade, sure to love good ground. Alan King's a master with these young horses. I think he could be a fair shout.
Next big hurdle race is the Neptune. Have you got anything for that? I haven't got a massive play in this at the moment.
I have to agree again. It's like the Willy Wonty scenario.
Yeah, it's really hard to figure out what's going to run and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Finian's Oscar, he's had 2 runs, a brilliant win at Hereford, went to Sandown, very, very inexperienced, dropped back to 2 miles in the Tolworth Hurdle, being Paul Nichols's captain. I thought he really travelled well that day, and this horse is only going to improve going back up in trip. They spent £250,000 on him. Alan Potts and Colin Tizard, they're already providing to be a really formidable partnership. He's already starting to look like he could be a genuine Group 1 horse, Grade 1 horse. He could take some beating in this race, in a race that, again, lacks the kind of class that we're accustomed it to be in normal years. Mezzer, the Oslo for Alan King, he's won a Grade 2 and a Grade 3. Not that impressive in my opinion. I think at the top level he's going to be found out. Invitation Only was hammered by Death Duty. Death Duty himself looks likely to step up to 3 miles rather than 2 mile 5. Augusta Kate took a crumbling fall the other day in Death Duty's race, and she's one who could if she turns out here, but it looks likely she's going to go to the mare's race.
Okay.
Could run a huge race. And besides that, it's just a load of Willie Mullins horses who you just don't know if they're going to run. But for me, again, sorry to state the obvious, but Finian's Oscar, he's going there with a big shout.
I think Finian's Oscar's unexposed. He's definitely solid. I don't know if 5 to 1's that good a price, but and Mezer does a bow. I think he's going to be better over further in time as well.
Yeah.
The way he runs. Deaf Duty is probably going to go to the Albert Bartlett, but
Does look that way.
I think he'd be all right in this as well. I quite like Deaf Duty actually.
Yeah.
One at a massive price I like is called Peregrine Run for Peter Fahey, currently 25 to 1. One here ahead of Holstone, who won a Grade 2 next time. He travels so nicely behind horses. Horses off the bridle, and he's just travelling nice, really, really beautifully. At Limerick, the time before, that's when he first caught my eye. Absolutely battered them, travelled really, really nicely. Again, in Cheltenham, showed a great turn of foot. And I was actually quite impressed with him at Warwick when he came third, because I thought maybe he might be able to the class might take him through the ground, but he clearly hated the ground.
Yeah.
He was off the bridle a long way out, and he actually found all right for pressure going around the bend. I quite like him, as long as that hasn't taken too much out of him.
Yeah.
The better ground would be definitely in his favour. I don't know what he's going to go for. He could also go for the Albert Bartlett as well. It's one of those two. But he's about 20 to 1 for the Albert Bartlett, 25 to 1 for this. I think he might go well at a big price, and he'll trade well in running as well, because he probably will be
a keen, strong traveller.
He'll be travelling very strongly. So I think he's a decent price at 25 to 1 each way. But I have no massive play in the race at the moment. Like you said, it's completely up in the air. I mean, Finian's Oscar's the only you think, oh, yeah, he could be really good. Meza does a bow, he's shown a bit, and then it's, like you said, it's just, are these even going to run? It's just Willie Mullins non-stop. Ballyandy's probably going to run. Is he good enough? Almost definitely not.
Only rated 135. He's going to have to step up a lot, isn't he?
Yeah, Bacardi's, he's probably not going to go here.
Yeah.
Moonrace is not going to go. Blow by Blow definitely isn't going to go. So it's just no idea.
Too early.
But like I said, I think that's an all right bet at the moment. Peregrine run at 25 to 1 for the little Peter Fahey stable. Okay, next up, the next novice hurdle is the Albert Bartlett, the potato race. Always a slog. Horses get destroyed in this race, which is why I think, well, they've said that this is what they're aiming for Deaf Duty. But it's destroyed good horses in the past, and not that good horses have won it in the past as well. Who do you fancy for this one?
I mean, at the end of the day, him and Augusta Kate were coming down to the last head-to-head. Augusta Kate is obviously a lot better than what everybody thought she was. She was receiving £7 that day, and who knows who was actually going to win that race. I'd had my money on Death Duty because he's a resolute galloper. Now, can he translate heavy ground form to good ground, what it's likely to be at Cheltenham? We just don't know. But one thing's for sure, he's got class, he's got stamina, he jumps well, and he's got speed. And that's what you need to win this race. He's got the typical mould of a horse who wins this kind of race. He's fit and he's well. And just by looking at the betting, he's currently 5 to 2 fab, it's 14 to 1 bar. It just sums up that there doesn't appear to be a lot in another race at this stage. Gordon Elliott's a master with these horses as well, and Michael O'Leary loves to have a winner at Cheltenham. At this stage, he's by far and away the one to beat. Yeah, I probably agree with you as well. I don't think there's that much value in his 5 to 2 price. Agreed.
I don't know, really. I don't know. I think this could go to a bit of a different type of horse. I think Deaf Duty has quite a bit of speed, more speed than people give him credit for. I think he would, personally, I think he would be probably better in the Neptune, but I think he will go for this. And he will be quite a short price on the day, most likely. I don't know what Augusta Kate's going to go to, because they have options with the mares, their mares, so she could easily go to this as well if she's all right after.
She could even miss it and go straight to Aintree and Punches.
Easily.
Well, he's done that before, isn't he?
Easily could do that as well. The
The
one I like is another Willie Mullins horse, Pen Hill.
Fair shout.
Won over Christmas.
I
think he's about 20 to 1 at the moment. Looked really, really good. Stepped up to 3 miles for the first time in the Guinness Novice Hurdle at Limerick. Not the most watched race, I'm sure, but it was a grade 2 at Christmas. The fifth was beaten 60 lengths and run since Punchestown run pretty well in second, actually. He absolutely destroyed them that day. Travelled all over them. Won very, very comfortably. He was actually pretty unlucky behind Arley Beach as well. Ruby Walsh rode him that day, which obviously shows them what they think about him in the yard. Really badly hampered, stayed on well after the last. I think this trip is going to suit him perfectly. He looks a 3-miler to me, and you can still get him at 20 to 1 at the moment.
And he's owned by one of the shrewdest men in the game. Anthony Bloom.
I think he's got a good chance in this, if he goes here. He's another one that could miss it as well. Paul Townend rode in the last day because Ruby was obviously had other engagements. But fantastic jockey, I think he's probably going to take over, I reckon. I've heard a few people talking about maybe Jack Kennedy will go and take the role, but he's still
possibly Danny Mullins.
Danny Mullins or David Mullins even.
David Mullins.
But I think he's still really, really young, isn't he, Paul Townend?
So
I think he's most likely to take over, and he's a fantastic jockey in his own right. But I think he's an all right price at 20-1. Definitely good value. So I
think the only other one we haven't mentioned is Holstone for Nigel Twiston-Davies. Course and distance form, proven to run well, and Nigel's a master at getting these horses ready for the big day 16s.
But it's just another race. By this time last year, when we were doing the previews, the races had pretty much taken shape.
They were.
There was what was going to run in each race, kind of, and now it's just completely up in there. There's about 20 Mullins horses in every single race. But yeah, those are the novice hurdles sorted. Next up, we'll just go through the novice chasers, the graded ones first, and then if you've got a fancy in the handicap, we'll look at that as well. But first novice chasers, obviously, the Arkle.
Indeed, it's the banker of the meeting.
Now, so I'm assuming, Altior.
Indeed.
Altior, man, yeah.
Absolutely, I'm all over Altior. I tipped him up at 5-1 at the beginning of the season before he even ran. I just believe that this could be the new Sprinter Sacre. I know everyone's making excuses for Min getting beat in the novice race the year before. He had back problems. He wasn't working out fantastically coming into the race. However, you can only turn up on the day and win, and he hammered Min senseless. Everyone's saying Altior's been beating trees so far. Well, you can only beat what's put in front of you. You know, impressive wins at Sandown, impressive wins at Kempton. He jumps super fast, and I've heard Noel Feely quoted as saying, this is the best horse he's ever ridden. Noel Feely's ridden some very, very good horses. When a jockey like that gets that kind of a feel of a horse, it's a very serious message. Min, if people are saying Altior's been beating trees, well, what's Min beat this year? The identity fee pulled up in the Grade 1. He had nothing left to beat. The horse who was second's only rated 142. I just think Altior beats Min in the best forecast of the meeting.
Oh yes,
I'm hammering a straight FC.
It's a two horse race, that's for sure. In my opinion, anyway. I'm an Altior man through and through as well. I backed Min in the Supreme last year, so I was absolutely gutted when he didn't win.
Many of us were.
I thought it was a certainty. Altior was unreal in the Supreme. I remember I was watching that, just thinking, this is ridiculous. He's absolutely hammered them. He's absolutely hammered them. He's looked fantastic over fences so far. You say he's beating trees, but I actually quite rate Charbel. I think he's an all right horse.
He is a very good horse.
And I think he's a good horse, and he beat him comprehensively. Like you said, there's been a lot of excuses made for Min. He came back injured. That almost definitely did affect him. But what evidence do we have? The only evidence we have is that Altior's absolutely thrashed him over hurdles. If you're backing Min, it's just on stable talk, and obviously he's a fantastic horse as well. He's a big jumper, and he could be brilliant. I mean, we don't know, but I'm with Altior as well. You can get him at 5-4 at the moment. Min 3-1. That will close, I reckon.
Definitely, the Irish will get stuck into
that. Will close. The gap will close before the race. So they'll be close to each other. I think Altior will still shade favouritism, but we'll definitely be closer than that. So if you do fancy Min, this is probably the time to get on.
For me, so far, it's going to be Duvan, Thistlecrack, and Altior in the win treble.
Oh,
that'll be the three for me.
Put your house on that one. That is an enormous. I can imagine you putting an absolutely massive bet on that. Absolutely massive. Next is the JLT. York Hill is favourite at the moment. Another Willie Mullins horse.
2-1.
2-1. That is short, I'd say. 7-4 in places. Obviously, he won the Neptune last year, but who do you fancy in this?
It's just embarrassing to say, but it has to be York Hill. You know, I mean, the way he beat Yanworth last year was so impressive. He won the Tolworth. He stepped up in trip. He's proven over course and distance, something that I love. Willie's going to have him absolutely spot on for the day. He's due to run in Ireland this week. If he jumps around safely there, what price is he going to be if he's impressive? He's going to be shorter than 2-1. I can see this being one of the Irish bankers of the week. You know, you've got Buv there for Nicky Henderson, who's second favourite at 7-1. Wasn't that impressive winning last time? Hopefully Nicky can get some more improvement out of him stepping up in trip, but he's going to have to improve. Look at the line of form through Yanworth and York Hill. York Hill is very, very impressive, and I think he's going to be even better as a chaser. I think he's one of the bankers of the meeting.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. I can't see this being beat.
Nice. Like that. That is...
I think this is a real future Gold Cup horse, and I think this is a poor JLT.
I know they love him in the yard as well. They
Yeah.
say he's probably one of the best chasers in the yard, best novice chasers anyway,
Yeah.
Including Min. I think they put him above Min in the novice chase ranks.
And the money's continued to come for him.
The money has massively come in. He looked really good last year, the Neptune, I agree with you. He won at 128 on his chasing debut. But another interesting thing about York Hill, though, is if Forheen and Annie Power don't run in the Champion Hurdle, he could step back down.
Entered.
Is he not
They
entered?
didn't give him an entry.
Oh, wow.
That was the breaking news, so it's confirmed.
Oh.
He's going over fences, which was kind of a good sign for the Forheen Annie Power signal.
Yeah.
So,
I somehow missed that.
Yeah.
But two horses that I quite like for the JLT, both trained by Paul Nicholls.
Uh-huh.
First one, Politolog, 12 to 1. Just because of the price, it's a decent price at the moment.
Yeah.
One of the best novice chasing performances I've seen this season was at Ascot this season. Unbelievable jumping.
Really was.
The best jumping I've seen from a novice over fences this season, I'd say. Royal Vacation was obviously absolutely miles back that day.
Yeah.
Very fortuitous win in the Cairo Star Chase at Kempton over Christmas, where Mike Bite fell at the last when cruising, and then a lot of hamperings going on. But he was very fortuitous, but he did still win. He won by a long way as well.
Yeah.
So that's obviously all right form. He's way better over fences, like a lot of the Nicholls horses, than over hurdles. He bombed out in the Coral Cup last year, but I think there's probably something I missed that day.
Yeah.
He has all right Cheltenham form before over hurdles. He was going well before. I think he unseated or maybe fell back in the start of his career. He runs at Haydock tomorrow.
That's right, behind North Hill Harvey.
Behind North Hill Harvey at Cheltenham in December of 2015.
Yeah.
But I think he runs tomorrow. If he wins that, he's going to be quite a bit shorter. Hopefully he wins well. Yeah. This is the race for him. Definitely not the RSA. Not much point going in the Arkle because it's going to be between
No, he won't have the speed, will he?
But I think he's a fantastic jumper and he's an all right, and he's a very good price at 12 to 1. So he's the one I like a lot. But also Clan Des Obo also follows.
Painful getting beat last time.
I think he was unlucky though. He was unlucky though. He kept on landing on the second last.
I think his money went down the pan.
I think he probably would have won that day if he didn't pick on landing. Really impressive at Newbury. The only thing I worry about is that maybe he just loves Newbury. He was unbelievably impressive at Newbury as a hurdler as well.
Yeah.
But he looks unreal at Newbury this season. Jumps well on the whole, other than that time. Can put in a mistake, but he's 20 to 1 at the moment. Yeah. If there's a bit of juice in the ground, he won't want it too fast. So, but if it turns out soft, unlikely, but it could turn out soft if there's a downpour maybe the day before or something, a couple of days before. He'd have a chance. He got beaten by Wisp, but I think he could reverse that form.
I agree. He's the younger horse, the more progressive horse, in my opinion.
I think he's
to lose that day.
Yeah, he's unlucky to lose that day. Wisp was half the price.
Yeah.
I think he's all right price at 20 to 1, but Politolog is my main tip for that, I think.
Okay, so bloggers all over York Hill, banker of the meeting.
Banker of the meeting.
Absolutely.
Love that. Love that.
This will not be beaten.
Okay. Next up is the RSA.
Yep.
Where Bell's Hill acts as the favourite.
Again, Willie Mullins.
Yeah, another Willie Mullins favourite. They can't
incredible,
all win.
isn't it?
They can't all win.
Well, we say this, but how many winners do they have every year?
Yeah, a lot.
At Cheltenham, and he just continues to do it, doesn't he?
He just trains. All he trains for 1 week in March. He consistently says that he's not a winter trainer. He's a spring trainer.
Yeah.
And that's
peaks these horses,
That's
He's
it.
4 to 1 favourite, 12 to 1 bar. Again, a very dominant favourite.
Yeah.
Not as strong as some of the others, but he's been very impressive this year in his 2 wins. And he looks to be set to be an even better chaser than he was a hurdler.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody, calm down.
Our Duke was really impressive winning at Leopardstown. And I think he could be the one here for Jessica Harrington.
Okay.
I was really impressed with that Grade 1 win over 3 miles, beating Coney Island, who Bell Shield has also beat by half a length. So the form line there is you've got one horse at 12 to 1 and one at 4 to 1, and they've both beaten Coney Island the same distance.
Yeah.
I think our Duke is a big, powerful, scopy horse. Jessica Harrington really likes him. Currently available at 12 to 1 each way. He's my pick of the race.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I'm taking on Bell's Hill in this race. I don't really fancy him at all in this. He's been poor twice here already at Cheltenham.
10th and 13th.
Yeah, I just don't fancy him that much. Of all the favourites at the meeting, I think he's the most vulnerable.
This is the one you want to lay.
This is the one I want to lay at the moment. I bet he bolts up now.
Yeah.
He bolts up by 50 lengths. But the one I like I mentioned him earlier, Mike Bite for Nicky Henderson.
Yeah.
Absolutely miles clear. So impressive. His form stepped up leaps and bounds. Obviously, he got beaten by more of that last season on his first attempt at offences.
Yeah.
That is not his form.
Yeah.
He was really, really good the run before as well. Smashed Premier Bond at Doncaster by 14 lengths.
Who's come out on one since.
Different horse like that lost to more of that.
Yeah.
He just looked very unbelievably impressive. That was an all right field. It wasn't a fantastic field.
But to be 15 lengths clear.
Yeah, to be 15 lengths clear.
On the bridle.
Completely on the bridle as well. Dal Jacobs he shouldn't have ridden him into that fence, but everyone makes mistakes. But there must have been a lot of people that were pretty angry at that.
Indeed.
But
yeah, and again he's got course form, a winner over 2.5 miles. I just love course form at Cheltenham. It's such a unique track.
Some people saying he might be better on a flat track.
Yeah.
But I was saying the same thing about Altior last year, because obviously he's got so much form at Kempton, and his least impressive run last year was at Cheltenham, and then it didn't mean anything because he's just too good. He just demolished them.
Yeah.
I think this is a different horse to what we've seen last season. He's so improved, and I think he should be shorter than 12-1 as well.
Do you think the 4 will affect his confidence, or you're happy Nicky will get him back in time?
I think Nicky will get him back in time. It might affect his confidence, but I'm just hoping that I'm just hoping he'll be all right. Falls like that you have to take into consideration, but I don't know, when you're 15 lengths clear in a Grade 1 going over the last,
an impressive
still on the bridle, it's an impressive performance.
Alfred Zoblo, I put him up as my tip earlier on in the year. Unfortunately, he broke a blood vessel last time out, and you can never be too sure how horses are going to respond for that. So at the moment, his health is the concern, so you couldn't really be looking at him as a viable proposition.
Has done a lot of horses, more of that, for example.
Yeah.
Ever since he burst a blood vessel, he's been gone in the game.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty open race as well. Coney Island, obviously, like you said, just got beaten by RG. That was a good race.
He did. I mean, he had every chance. He came there. I backed him that day. I had 5-2. The Vibin Island he's an exceptional horse. He was working really well, and he got beat fair and square on the day. Maybe he just didn't stay the full extended 3 miles that day, so I can't see him getting it at Cheltenham. I'd be against him.
Yep. 100% agree with you as well. Petit Son's the only one we haven't talked about. Obviously, Coral Cup winner.
Yeah.
Hasn't done that much racing. Hasn't been that impressive.
No, not at all.
So
He's
far.
going to have to buck up his jumping, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a big price differential though. You can get him at 25-1 or 16-1. I've seen a few people fancy him actually, but
I think he might be going for the handicap.
Okay.
3 mile 1 handicap by all accounts.
That'll be interesting.
Got a nice mark.
That'll be interesting.
So.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the. We're not going to look at the 4 miler. I don't think we haven't got anything for that. So we can quickly go through the betting, but I just don't have a clue who's gonna win that at all at the moment. Closer to the time, I'll be writing an article and probably do a video on it as well. But it's just a little bit up in the air at the moment.
It is indeed.
So let's just try and find.
I can't even find the betting. That's how up in the air it is.
There's not even any betting.
There's no betting up here at the moment.
Okay, we can't find the betting, but anyway, we don't know who's going to win, so we won't bore you with that. Another race, which is interestingly very, very deep, a fantastic race, is the Triumph this year.
Good old Triumph.
Usually I would just stay well clear of these juvenile races, but the Triumph looks an absolute corker.
It does indeed.
Is there anything?
It's the JG McManus show, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Is there anything that jumps off the page for you? Obviously, Joseph O'Brien's got all these horses from his dad.
Exactly.
And there's loads of others that have come up with JP. It could be just full of JP horses. It's about 10 JP horses.
Where is he going to run them all? Because I'm sure he doesn't want 3 or 4 of his best horses all in the same race. So, whether he sends a few to the Supreme and splits them up, it's hard to say at this stage. But you've got Defi de Sol for Philip Hobbs, who's been ultra impressive. He's done everything they've asked of him. I heard Philip say that, he's not too sure what the horse has actually beaten as of yet, so he doesn't know how good he can be. But you can only win. You can't knock a horse that keeps on winning, and that's one thing that I love about horses like this. He's got course and distance form. JP's other horse, Charlie Parks, cost £250,000 for Nicky Henderson. He was devilishly impressive first time out. I love the way he jumped. And then you've got the Joseph O'Brien horse, Land of Hope and Glory, again, who looks very impressive. And Joseph's going to be an up-and-coming force in these races with the high-caliber flat horses being sent to him. At this stage, I like Nicky Henderson. He's a master of these Triumph Hurdle horses. 8-1, a big expensive buy. He can only improve. And that turn of foot that he showed to win at Kempton, I thought was quite eye-catching.
Yeah, okay. I agree with you there, but my pick is definitely Destroy. I think
Yeah.
he's going to send. If he sends one of them, it'll be Charlie Parks to the Supreme.
I agree.
Because I think Philip Hobbs wants to win this race.
Yeah.
I've heard him mention this race before and a few times. He hasn't beaten that much, but he has won a Grade 1 already at Chepstow. Absolutely miles clear. Didn't jump very well in the straight, which put a lot of people off. But it was on his own. I think he just got a little bit lonely. I think Hobbs does like him a lot as well. He's definitely a horse for the future. I just think he's all right price as well at 6-1.
Yeah.
Joseph O'Brien, what's he going to enter? I thought Houses of Parliament was going to be one of the fantastic one. He's obviously got Sword Fighter as well. I don't know where he's going.
Yeah, we haven't seen him yet.
I think Joseph O'Brien could have a couple maybe. But at the moment, from what we've seen, Defi Desoy is a really, really good bet, I think, 6-1. If he goes to the Supreme, and for some reason they do a turnaround and Charlie Parks go for this, I would also back him in the Supreme each way, because he's going to be an alright price, I think.
We'll get the weight allowance.
He'll get the weight allowance. But yeah, I like him a lot in this one.
Yeah, Charlie Parks for me and Defi for you.
Yep.
JP 1-2 maybe.
JP 1-2, nice.
Yeah.
Almost definitely going to be JP 1-2 in that
It
race.
is indeed, you would hope so.
But
who knows what Willie has at this stage? Again, he's got 20 entered and we just don't know who's going to line up.
Yeah,
It's just such a guessing game.
Absolutely no idea. Willie Mullins, he is just a closed book. We have no idea. He says everything's going fine. To be fair, Rich Rishi at the start of the season, 14's fine, Annie Power's fine.
Yeah.
They keep mentioning it, not seeing. Keep getting withdrawn from races.
Does it annoy you as a racing fan?
I don't know. Not massively. It is obviously frustrating because you want to see the best horses run.
Indeed.
But I don't know. It's kind of it's a bit of drama, isn't it? I suppose. But it was a bit. I think the recent one was a little bit different. The one that came out yesterday, where they said, Forheen and Annie Power are both going well.
Yeah.
It had a little bit of an edge to it. That I thought, okay, they actually are going well.
Didn't it? When you look quite sincere.
They actually are going. They actually are going well, and they actually are both going to run, which is not good for my moon race from the champion hurdle bit. But that was a bit insane anyway. Are there any handicappers that you like?
I've backed one horse, and it's Bouveril of Paul Nicholls.
Oh yes, he loves her.
This horse is currently 16-1. I backed him anti-post in the Bet Victor race, where he finished 5th, and the bloody rain came in heavy overnight and completely ruined our chances. I had 14 for him. He went off at 7-1. Okay. I just think this horse is a different proposition on good ground. I think Paul is going to get him ready for this race. He's going to have him spot on, and I can see him being 5-1 favourite on the day. Currently available at 16s. I think he's the best each-way bet of the meeting, and I'm so keen on this horse, I can't tell you.
What race was that for, sorry?
That is in the 2.5 mile handicap chase. I have no idea the name of the race, but it's a 2.5 mile handicap.
I think it's the Brown Advisory Plate, because I've got one in there as well.
You've done your research, good man.
Thomas Crapper for the same race.
There we go.
Second at the festival a couple of years ago to Irish Cavalier, off 134.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, Irish Cavalier's gone on to great things.
Yeah.
I backed both of them that day, so I was happy. They were the two that I backed. But he's clearly primed for Cheltenham every single year. I actually tipped him my handicap video last season. I'm very excited about this. 33-1. He's running tomorrow at Ascot.
Okay.
If Ascot goes ahead, very unlikely at the moment. The key to him is good ground, so that's a bit of a worry as well. And he's running in an amateur race tomorrow. Sam Willie Cohen's on board.
Okay.
But last season, when he wanted to go to Cheltenham, didn't make the handicap. Next run, bolted up at Newbury. He's clearly, very, very clearly trained for one race at Cheltenham every single season. Ran really well for a long way in the Caspian Caviar Gold Cup on soft ground, which he would have hated. Needs good ground.
Is that Robert Dickin, the trainer?
Yeah, Robert Dickin. And I just think he's big price at 33-1. He needs to win a race, or he needs to get about £5 so he can get in. Because he's on 131 at the moment.
Right.
He's going to need about 135. He needs to win a race, go well in a couple of races. This might be his last chance. But Sam Willie Cohen, eye-catching amateur booking. They want him to win. He needs to win, and I think he's a good one at 33-1. Another race that I like is the County Hurdle. Ivanovic Gorbatov, currently 25-1 for the County Hurdle. Obviously won the Triumph last year. Another horse that comes to his own in the spring. Needs fast ground. Needs good fast spring ground, which will probably get at Cheltenham. Been running well in soft ground in Grade 1s. He ran all right last time.
He did. He ran a good race.
He's been running kind of averagely, basically. He's going in the Irish Champion Hurdle, I think. If he runs a good race there's no way he's going to run in this, so he'll run the Champion Hurdle. But if he doesn't run a good race and it comes up a bog, he's going to get hammered by the handicapper no matter what, because obviously we know what it's like, the Irish horses in England. But he'll be carrying a big weight, but I think he's an all right horse, and he obviously has Cheltenham form, like you said,
Indeed.
festival form.
Yeah. JP loves to have a good old handicapper, doesn't he?
Yeah, he loves a good handicapper. This could be a plot, and he's 25 to 1 at the moment for the county hurdle.
The one that I've got to chuck in that's just come back to my brain cells that are half dead today is Highbridge for the Supreme Novices, Ben Pauling's horse.
Okay.
25 to 1. I interviewed John Ferguson. He told me the horse is working really well. He's improving. Devilishly impressive winning last time out. Good flat pedigree. I think he could be one at 25 to 1 who could run a place. And don't forget, some bookies might go 4 places on the day of the Supreme.
Definitely.
25s could be a good shout.
Probably maybe a couple more places than 4. I've seen it at 6 before. Remember when Champagne Fever won, it was 6 places out when it was 12 runners or something. But anyway, that's that. That's the Cheltenham previews done for this year. Obviously, we're going to have way more videos coming up. With single races, so we're doing Gold Cup video, Supreme video, Champion Hurdle video. That'll be with Ross Casey, I'm afraid, though, not the racing blogger. But it's been great having you.
Cheers, great to be here.
Remember to subscribe to our channel just to get all those videos. Download our app, which will be available now. Have all of my tips on race day info, comparing the odds. Yeah, it's a good little app to use if you want fancy having a bet at Cheltenham. But yeah, there we have it.
And you may see the 2 of us at Cheltenham.
Oh, you definitely will.
Brilliant. Take care.
Take care.